Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Deathedge. Welcome to the second episode of Deathedge's Wrestling Corner. This is unfortunately a Wednesday show. The reason is because I was supposed to do a show yesterday, and well, I went to sleep and I didn't wake up until like 12 o'clock in the morning, and I am not gonna come in here and do a show at 12 o'clock in the morning. So I apologize. I will try to make it up on probably on Thursday. I'll talk about what I was going to talk about on Tuesday, but I do want to go ahead and get one thing out of the way, and then I'll explain to you why I'm not going to just go ahead and do everything I was going to do on my Tuesday show today. The idea that Raw is going to take a priority above pay-per-views is simply stupid. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that even if that is true, there is no way they'd ever put Raw above WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble, and SummerSlam, as that is their three biggest pay-per-views of the year. And I know some people are going to say Survivor Series. If you think Survivor Series is still important, you, my friend, are in denial. Nothing is important about Survivor Series anymore, especially with the fact that you have bragging rights, which basically does the thing that Survivor Series used to do. You know, the inter-brand matchups, the team up, all that good stuff. Survivor Series is all important, so I no longer consider it a major one of the top tier pay-per-views of WWE. But anyway, that is beside the point right now. Raw, the only event that I think might take priority above it is the 1000th episode. And because I'm pretty sure Money in the Bank happens before the 1000th episode, I will not be surprised if they basically use MITB as a giant advertisement for the 1000th show. And though that will be disappointing, I can't blame them. I mean, let's just face it, like it or not, it's going to be a historic night, not just for the WWE, but in the history of television and pop culture as we know it. No other show like WWE Raw has ever reached 1,000 episodes. It blows Gunsmoke out of the water. It blows Simpsons out of the water. I don't think any show's even gotten close to it. So it is a big night, and you best believe Vince is going to flaunt his ego, but at the same time, you also better believe that the WWE writing staff's sorry, I do have a no cursing rule. Hopefully, as I continue to do this show, I will completely break any habit of ever dropping a profanity like that. And I saved myself there. Good. Anyway, their butt will be on the chopping block. Because the fact is, if the 1000th show is not good and it gets a poor rating, Vince is going to make sure heads roll. Now, one thing you do have to keep in mind is with the 3-hour time slot, it often is harder to keep ratings because the overall viewership could go down drastically in the matter of 2 hours. So by the third hour, there's like no one left, and it ends up damaging the rating. That's a big reason why Raw has not done very good lately in the 3-hour category. Of course, lately they haven't been doing good at, well, anything in terms of ratings, although they're finally starting to get back up to the 3.3. I hope Vince doesn't expect this to get like a 4.0 or anything, because I think that's unrealistic, but who knows? Historic night again. A lot of people are going to be watching, more people than usual, I guarantee it. And WWE will look to pull out every little stop on that 1000th episode. Anyway, the reason why it should not take priority above pay-per-views, Raw as a whole that is, even after it switches to 3 hours, there are 3 simple reasons. One, you can't make money doing that. Now, I know what some people might try to say. In theory, if they have 3-hour Raws and they're good, then the buy rates for the pay-per-views will come. Though that is true, eventually they can barely fill 2 hours now, and eventually people are going to notice that. Nitro, when they had a 3-hour show, eventually began to really struggle. In fact, WCW will be my reference point for all this. Back when Bischoff ran it. And they had the 3-hour format. So next, a lot of people are going to point out that they're going to be doing great matches because they're going to want to keep the ratings up there. True, again. But at the same time, Vince, I highly doubt, will give away pay-per-view quality matches on TV. And if he does, WCW did the same mistake. And the fact is, you make more money with pay-per-view buy rates. That is where most of a wrestling company's revenue comes from, next to merchandising. It's not so much ticket sales, because there's a lot of cheap seats. Like, you can go to, I remember Charlotte was advertising that you could go to SmackDown and seats started at like $5, and I was like, holy dang. But when a wrestling company tries to put the TV show above the pay-per-view, they give away pay-per-view matches on TV. A notorious example of this, there are 3 in particular notorious examples of this. Number 1, Hogan versus Lex Luger. They did it the night, right, they had Luger win the World Heavyweight title, and then the next night on the pay-per-view, it was before Road Wild, I believe, they had Luger drop it back to Hogan. It got a nice rating, but the buy rate suffered, plus it was Road Wild. The second example would be Hogan versus Goldberg at the Omni. I can't really remember what pay-per-view this was before, and the idea, guys, was for Hogan to eventually beat Goldberg in the streak and win it back. But obviously, Hogan eventually got fed up, threw one of his hissy fits, and left. And Nash managed to jump in and get the streak angle. Well, be the guy to end the streak with a cattle prod. Isn't that how you want the most memorable streak of wrestling history to end? Fortunately, though, they didn't give away any more matches on TV, although Goldberg's title defenses, a lot of them were on TV, and a lot of them were just not very good, like Ming. Ugh. So then, the other example, perhaps the most well-known example, also involving Goldberg, Halloween Havoc, 1998. Goldberg versus Diamond Dallas Page. Now, this is the amount that you saw on TV. Goldberg and DDP lock up. DDP eventually gets Goldberg out of the ring, and then the feed cuts out because Bischoff didn't tell the pay-per-view company that there's going to be a run on, thanks to the Hogan Warrior match. Yeah, and believe me, that match was exciting. And it was years past relevance, too. But Bischoff, even though a lot of people would have paid to see the replay just for that match, gave it away for free on TV. Now, some people will defend it, and I see why they would defend it, but in the wrestling business, you are in it to make money. Now, I'm not saying that you should have a poor quality product and just shell out your products like they're going out of style, but what I am saying is you shouldn't give away too much for free, and by that point, that's what Bischoff was doing. Oh, and let's not forget that after the Sting-Hogan match in Starrcade 97, yeah, it was 97, they basically no, it was 90, forget it, whenever that Starrcade, that match happened, and I'm sorry, my brain's been on the fritz today, whenever it happened, they gave away Sting versus Hogan every freaking week, and I'm not kidding, it was like every week they would have that same match, and eventually it got old, which is another reason why giving away pay-per-view matches for free is not that good a thing, because by the time you see it so often on TV, you know how all the matches are going to happen. It's kind of like if WWE gave away John Cena versus Triple H every week during their feud. It would have got old. And by the time the title defenses began happening, I should say John Cena, Randy Orton. That's a better example. But by the time the matches happen on the pay-per-view, it wouldn't really entice them to pay because people would know what's going to happen. So my point is, pay-per-views should always be above the TV show. Now, this is the thing. Now, that's all I'm going to say on this. I might say more about tomorrow, but the thing is, Wednesday, I actually want to do non-wrestling related things. This will be the only day of the week that I record a non-wrestling related show. I do promise that much. The reason for it is I think that if I talk about a wider variety of topics, even if it be just one day a week, eventually that could start to pay off for me. And I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about if you do a web show and a review, and you review things or just talk about things. So, what am I going to be talking about today that is non-wrestling related? Well, there is a certain Canadian Idol reject who has got a big hit song on the internet. Well, no, not just on the internet, on the radio. All because a celebrity with goofy looking hair said that he loves the song. I am, of course, talking about Carley Rae Jepsen. And I am talking about the nightmarish song that is Call Me Maybe. Okay. This is how this is going to work. I'm going to assume that just about everyone's heard this song. And to be honest, with how low I think I am on YouTube's list, the only way you are going to find this video, I bet, is if you've heard the song and you're looking through everything. So I'm going to assume that you've heard the song, you know about the beat, you know about all that. But the thing is, that beat in the chorus is really, really catchy. It is what gets you hooked on the song. What I'm going to do, though, is a nice little lyrical analysis. I'm going to dissect these lyrics. Now, I'm not going to play the song simply because I am convinced that playing the song, eventually people are going to call copyrights and say, oh, I don't own this. And for the record, in case what I'm doing here does need copyrights disclaimer, I do not own the song. I am, not sure who owns the song, but I will look it up and add it to the very end of this video. That way, hopefully, I don't tick anyone off. Lord knows I don't want someone's corporate wrath going down my throat. So, alright, let's begin. Now, I guess you can say this is going to be spoken word because I am not singing this song. I'm just going to go through, and when I get to a lyric that bothers me, I'm going to break it down. Here we go. I threw a wish in the well. Don't ask me, I'll never tell. Why are you writing a song about it if you're not going to tell? Plus, if you make a wish, if this is the rule, if you make a wish, you don't tell anyone about it. If you tell people about it, it doesn't come true. Now then, I looked to you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish. And she sold her soul to the devil! She admitted it in the song. She sold her soul for a wish. The devil came to her, showed her that fancy little contract, and said, hey, you can get whatever you want. Sell your soul. You make music for me now, but you get to make a wish. And then the devil, just for his sick amusement, made her write a song about it. So let's us continue down this satanic story. Pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this. If she wasn't looking for this, why did she wish for it? Or maybe that's further proof that she sold her soul to the devil. She wasn't looking to sell her soul to the devil, but it just sort of happened, and she said, may as well. But now you're in my way. Your still were sold in. Hot ripped jeans, skin was showing. Girls, what is it about guys' legs that entrances you? 9 times out of 10, our legs are hairy. Or maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there who shave their legs, but I do not know that many of them. Oh well. Hot night, wind was blowing. Where you think you're going, baby? She's probably running away from you thinking you're crazy. Just saying. And then of course, the catchy chorus, hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my number, So call me maybe. Well, okay. I'm just gonna name the things that bug me about that part of the chorus. There's nothing crazy about it. You, I admit I do not get girls' phone numbers very often. Shocker. I'm sure every girl out there, and particularly any of my friends who know me who are listening to this, I'm sure their jaw just came unhinged. But the point is, the times that I have got a girl's phone number, even if it is after I just met them, it's, again, not very often, but it happened once, I promise. There was nothing particularly crazy about it. They wanted to talk to me, they didn't have time to get to know me, so they said, hey, call me. Oh, and they did not say, call me maybe. They said, call me. Because if I don't call them, I get chewed out next time I see them. Especially if this does sort of depend on girls, but I know a lot of girls who they expect you to call after the first maybe 2-3 days. If you wait past the 3-day mark, you're done. You blew it, buddy. That girl's never gonna talk to you. And if she does, you'll be a friend. Because she's probably ran off and found another guy to give her phone number to. It's hard to look right at you, baby. He's a Twilight vampire. That's the only conclusion I can get here. Either that, or maybe, no. You know what? I'm sure I've already heard people make that joke. Here's a thought. Maybe she's into ugly guys. Maybe this guy is so hideous that physically hurts her to look at him. Just a thought. I know the music video doesn't convey that, but who knows? Maybe she tries to hide it. Maybe she made the music video to make people think that she's actually into hot guys, when in reality, she's into guys who are ugly as sin. Anyway, so you repeat that, and then you get to the part that really bugs me. And all the other boys try to chase me, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Based on that lyric, I'm going to assume that the reason why he doesn't try to chase you is because you clearly are an egotist. You're narcissistic. You think that you look so good that all the other guys try to chase you. He doesn't like your attitude. He doesn't think you're that hot. Maybe that's why he doesn't try to chase you. Maybe he's just not interested, and someone should get the hint instead of trying to give him your phone number. I bet you she was very disappointed the next couple days. You took your time with the call. I took no time with the fall. See? That's another thing. She fell. That means he never called, I bet. You gave me nothing at all, but still you're in my way. Again, he gave her nothing at all, but still you're in my way. She still likes him, but he's not biting at it. This song isn't about lovey-doveyness. This song is about her giving her phone number to a guy who never calls back. So everyone who thinks this song is all happy lovey-dovey, it's just the beat makes you think it's all happy lovey-dovey. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's dive in further, shall we? I beg and borrow and steal. At first sight in it is real. I didn't know I would feel it, but it's in my way. Is the lyrics... Did I get that right? I didn't know I would feel it. She tried to rhyme. I'm gonna assume it shouldn't be there, but even so. At first sight in it's real. I didn't know I would feel... What? I don't quite get that. And the part about beg, borrow, and steal, that's just all kinds of disturbing. And for the record, if you borrow something, it's not stealing. If you steal something, it's not borrowing it. She's sending me a mixed message here. Did she borrow it or did she steal it? I don't get it! Anyway, she basically begins going over and over with the chorus. Nothing too new that I haven't already talked about until this part. Before you came into my life, I miss you so bad, I miss you so bad, I miss you so bad. How did you miss him? when when he didn't even come into your life yet. You can't miss someone you don't know. And I don't care if anyone gives me the whole, well, if you dream about someone. No! This song makes no sense. It makes even less sense now that I'm really looking at this. Oh, and then she ends it with, and you should know that, so call me maybe. After she repeats the I miss you so bad part over and over again. He's not gonna know that. He never met you. He's probably never thought about you. He probably thinks you are off your frickin' rocker. And I highly doubt that he will call you. If I was the guy, I would run. And yes, I've seen the music video. I'll admit, she is a relatively attractive girl. I'm not gonna bash the music video at all, although I will say that she's actually 26, but she acts like she's a teenage girl, which just raises a couple questions to me. But the point is, this song is not happy, it's not good, it's suckish, but you know what I really hate? Do you know the reason why I really, really hate this song? It tries to force me to like it. I have heard it on the radio all over the place, and I will admit, it is the catchiest song on the radio right now. And every time I try to resist it, but I end up singing along with the chorus. And to be honest, that's the only part I like. I hate the verses. I'm not too crazy about the beat. It's just the same recycled beat that all these lovey-dovey songs have. At the end of the day, this song will die. And I'm willing to predict that Carley Rae Jepsen will be a one-hit wonder for this song, because I've heard some of her other works, and she is not very talented. Justin Bieber is the only reason anyone listened to this song, and the only reason anyone enjoys this song. If I upset you, I'm sorry. This is Deathedge signing off and praying that this song's popularity goes downhill real soon.